Yep, good times, good times. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us at the Bridge ATL. This is your girl Keisha, and we have Tyler here again. Ooh,
How y'all
it's
doing?
kind of fun. I like having you here. And of course, we have Kel as well. We're here, and we have another episode of the Bridge ATL for you guys. We have a very interesting one today because we're going to be talking a little bit about foreign exchange, not of currency, but of love and finding love, sex, all the different things. So I'm definitely excited to get into it. But I mean, I want to know, first of all, like do you guys travel out of the country a lot?
So I just got my passport this year.
Okay. Wait, as in literally 2024 or
2020.
2023?
I got it at the end of 2023.
Okay,
Because I'm
okay.
going out of the country
Mhm.
this year. Hopefully, right? If everything
What
plays
you mean,
out.
hopefully?
You never know. You remember how the country
Oh,
shut
yeah,
down
yeah,
and people
yeah.
probably had plans. But no, I plan to go out of the country this year. I'm supposed to be going to Japan, so that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
But other than that, I haven't been out of the country.
Okay. Are you going for a specific reason or just
Just to visit, tourism.
nice? What about you?
no, I ain't
Ken?
never been out there.
Okay.
So I'm a country boy. America. Yeah, no.
Where your Trump shoes at?
America.
I just don't know like where to go. Specifically, I think everybody has their dream destination. I don't really have one. I want to accrue a certain amount of funds before I start thinking about going outside the country, just in case I might get locked up outside the country. You never know what happens. You know what I mean? And if I get locked up outside the country,
It's
I ain't got
over.
no funds. It's over with.
It's over. Yeah.
You're gonna have to call on Biden, man.
Exactly. So I'm gonna
They're gonna have to do a prisoner
need
exchange.
to have my stuff in order here before I start going out there. You know what I mean? I do not want a Brittany Griner situation happen to me. So
Nah, definitely not. That was crazy.
that's wild. So
Yeah. I remember one time I went to Mexico with like my ex. And I remember I was like, okay, let's go to Mexico. This is a couple years back. Like this is a while back. And I'm like, yeah, let's go to Mexico. Oh, I can't wait. This should be fun. And then he was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna go to like a strip club. Yes. And he's like, prostitution's legal out there. So he had a friend at the time who partaked in the festivities. And so I remember going and like we were just, I remember just feeling so, I was safe because I was the only girl with them, but I just knew like if something happened and something went down, like it was over for me. I didn't even have my passport at that time. But I remember almost getting into it with these girls in the bathroom. And I knew in that moment, I was like, Keisha, if you end up fighting these girls, if you get into it with them, you can go to Mexican prison.
no, for real.
I don't think you want that. So I remember that was the first time where I was like, I gotta kind of bring it down a little bit. And it wasn't even like a problem. It was just they knew I was American and they were almost like trying to pick on me. It was really weird. So I don't know. I don't know what that was about. But that was an interesting trip.
What part of Mexico?
Tijuana.
Oh yeah, you know it.
Yes.
Tucson, turn
Because
up.
we were in, because he lived in San Diego at the time. And so I remember we were like trying to figure out what should we do? Let's do something. And I was like, let's go to
It's always
Mexico.
Tijuana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Is it
right
really?
there.
Not
It's-
Cancun.
If you go to if you're in San Diego,
yeah.
you got to go. If you're going to visit, for example, whenever we go, because we got to go, because obviously we're going to Tijuana. I have to take y'all just because of
You
y'all.
did say that. You did.
Yeah,
say
you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that is a fact.
Yeah, no, it's so close. So it's so close that you can almost like, if you don't know, you can end up in Mexico, like kind of thing.
Oh, it's that close.
Yes. So when I was in San Diego visiting my family, not my family, excuse me, with my family, they wanted to go to TGI Fridays, which I never really cared to go there, but like they wanted to go. And so I was like, okay, let's go. We're in San Diego. And the closest TGI Fridays was 30 minutes away. But come to find out, it was in Mexico. It was the strangest thing. And so we were driving two separate cars. And so the first car ended up in Mexico. And I'm like, I'm not going over there. So I was like, turn around. Nope, cancel the mission. We're going back home. And so it's that close. So yeah, it's crazy.
crazy.
But yeah, Tijuana was right there. Went to a straight strip club, whorehouse situation. The tequila's very cheap. It was so crazy because I was like, I can't believe this is really happening. And then, of course, the friend disappeared for a little bit and then came back. And so I'm like, okay.
They were just doing their thing.
Yeah, they were just chatting about church and stuff, I think. Yeah, it had to have been. But
Missionary trips.
yes. Oh, God.
Tell you, in some form of fashion, right? For sure.
You said what?
In some form of fashion.
Yeah, I mean, it was so casual then that, like, I guess I didn't even think anything of it until now. Like, when I'm hearing about Passport Bros, I'm like, dang, I think he was my first experience
Yeah.
with a passport bro. Like, my first time meeting
Yeah.
a legit passport bro. But anyway, so I want to know, are y'all familiar with the term passport bros?
Yes.
Okay,
I am
Tyler,
familiar with it, yes.
tell me, what do you,
So my definition of a passport bro is pretty much a dude who's solely got his passport for the express reason to experience, as a nicer way of calling it, sexual tourism. A lot of countries do not have as restrictive laws as we do when it comes to prostitution. So a lot of people tend to travel out of the country in order to experience that. Whether it's because it's legal, cheap, it's easy to get with the women, and there's just a lot of options. So passport bros are just dudes who get their passports and go like out of the country for that. Specifically to like Thailand or something, right? Or at least that's what I think.
It's one of them corny ass titles, you know what I'm saying? Like traditional, you know what I mean? Like traditional, like we don't call it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up, we know what that is, but we never called them like passport bros. I guess somebody was like, oh yeah, call me passport bro because I have a passport and I go around the country and I, you know what I'm saying? I pay for pussy, you know what I'm saying? Or something like that. But, you know, I don't like the labels. The labels are weird. But yeah, that is what it is. Tyler basically explained it. Because I mean, we've been, you know, as a male, you'll hear about, hey, I went to the Philippines, I've been to Thailand, I've been to, you know, so and so, and I've, you know, they have legal prostitution in Amsterdam, stuff like that, red light district, wherever you go, right? And so, and you know, you don't really have a lot of thought into it growing up, especially if you're young. Especially my 20s is when we first started talking about it. But I mean, you know, you're gonna have your opinions. The climate is very interesting at this point, where you know a lot of OnlyFans stuff going on. I guess I don't know
what
if
do
that's
you mean?
I don't know if that's like a progressive thing, or I don't know where we're going. Like, is prostitution okay? Is it starting to be okay? Is like really publicizing like sexual things okay? Like, what is going on? Like, where are we going?
From my understanding of it, it's not prostitution if you have intent to distribute. So
Exactly. But see, like we're doing the, you know what I mean? If you know, right? Like a lot of,
yeah.
come on now, you go on Twitter and they be like, yo, I'm in Detroit doing what? You know what I'm saying? Like, hit me up if you're in Detroit. For what?
Well, they
bro?
don't call it prostitution, right? So it's become like a higher level thing, like to clean it up. It's like how you have Walmart and Target, you have prostitutes and escorts. Escorts are the nicer way of saying it, right? Like escorts are like the target of prostitutes.
Oh,
Right. They'll get dressed up. You can be seen with them in public.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
You know,
yeah.
they're going to look good on your arm.
They know how to act.
And then when you go home, they're going to go crazy. I mean, that's just how it looks to me, right? You have escorting, which is classy, and then you have prostitutes,
Okay.
which are like, ugh.
So look, we have all of that, right? And then we have Diddy, and then we have R. Kelly, and then we have. So where are we going? Like it's going all over. Like it seems to be more publicized and almost accepted, and then we got men who've been doing this, and they're getting, you know, locked up for it. So, where are we? That's what I'm saying. Where are we going? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the climate at? Is it just so crazy right now that we're just trying to figure it out, or what? Passport bros is a thing. Like that's
Yeah.
you know, people know about that. Like it's out there. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'd be afraid. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't even say I'm going out. Yeah, I'm gonna go to DR to, you know, do all. I would never tell anybody that.
I would
right now.
never say I'm going.
Because I don't know
somewhere specifically
I don't
for
know
that.
what'll happen in 30 years and they figure out, oh, he went to DR to do this and let's go get him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't,
So what you think they're going to crack down on people doing it?
because you never know, bro. Like, you never
It's
know.
true.
I
It's true.
promise you, Diddy and R. Kelly did what they did because they thought they'd be fine. They thought it was okay.
Yeah, but they
feel
were
me?
operating over here with it. Like they were operating in the United States with it, where everybody has a voice, right? Quote unquote. Everybody has a voice. Everybody has an opportunity to let people know what happened to them. And people listen more when it's somebody they know. So like if a random person said, R. Kelly did this to me, R. Kelly did that to me, people are gonna listen because it's like, oh yeah, it's R. Kelly. Like, yeah, we want to see, we can believe that he did that. Like, if you go over to Thailand or China or wherever, right? And somebody says, oh, well, R. Kelly did this to me, did that to me, they're gonna say, well, did he pay you?
Where in
Yeah.
Thailand?
Yeah.
Yeah, today. But I'm saying in 30 years, what
Like
about
30 years from now,
Yeah.
it'll probably still be like that. If
I don't
anything,
know, bro.
if anything, the United States is probably going to go into that lane.
Like-
Unfortunately, I hate to say it like that, but we will probably move into more legalizing for like sexual work.
I don't
because of
know.
how popular it is now. Like sex work, bro. When we were kids, the only sex work we had to dodge was like porn sites. Now you got porn sites, you got Kims, you got OnlyFans, you got what? There's like a bunch of other sites.
They
like
monetized
OnlyFans.
it.
You got
though.
Twitter.
They taxed it.
You got.
I was gonna say, I feel like
Instagram,
that's-
it's everywhere.
They monetized it.
Yeah.
They
I
still
feel-
haven't monetized marijuana everywhere yet. You know what I'm saying?
No, but it's coming. They're just being slow about it because there's people in power who still like the Bible Belt, as they call it. The Bible Belt is not going to go for it. Like they're they are very against legalization
I don't
of
believe in that
marijuana. That's
Bible
why you
Belt.
see like more of the northern states have legalized it. I still
Yeah.
believe that the Bible Belt exists, where it is heavily religious down here.
It's heavily selective.
There's a church every 2 miles
Yeah.
in Stone Mountain.
But they're butt naked out here stripping.
That-
And you go to New York, and they can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't think so?
they can't do that, bro. You go to New York, they can't be butt naked like they is out here.
Oh yeah, it's like kind of in LA too. If they sell alcohol, they can't get butt naked
Yeah.
or something like that. Like there's
Yeah, yo. And
what's the
Magic
point of a
City
strip
going
club?
crazy.
He's like, what's the point of a strip club?
So we just in a strip club, can't drink like
No,
know,
you can
yeah.
drink.
But you got pregame before you get there?
It's like
Basically.
they could get topless, but they can't take off their bottoms.
Yeah, they butt naked out here, bro. Busting it.
Okay.
Well, you guys see I haven't been anywhere.
The Bible Belt is like I never understood it when I moved out here anyway. I was like, bro.
Well, it's called the Bible Belt because of the concentrations of like
yeah, the
churches
southern, yeah.
Christianity and all that. Like there's a heavy concentration down here.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a church every 2 miles in Stone Mountain and in other cities. So
Yeah, but my main thing is like, you know, the world is right now is at a weird point. You know, social media is the reason because we wouldn't know about. Well, we do know about it, but Passport Bros basically popularized the idea of sexual tourism, right? So, at the same time, it's also convicted some men of doing that or doing things similar when they thought it was okay. When people around them knew it was okay, like people knew about R. Kelly doing all that shit. People knew about Diddy and Cassie. They've been around for years, and nobody. We didn't know all of it. You know what I mean? Like, yes, y'all.
well, I
did.
think people didn't know the full story.
They did.
well, I mean,
know
like,
they did.
we didn't.
They knew enough.
They knew enough.
But like,
Everybody
did
around
we-
that man
did
knew
we
what was
know
going
though?
on.
Oh,
No, we can only assume. You can
we
only
can
ever
only
assume.
speculate for sure.
But
But
they thought it was okay, is what I'm saying. Like,
The people around them. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's messed up. But there's not much we can do.
like I said, Marma, where I put this on wax. Kanye need to be careful, bro. I'm telling you right now. Like, he needs to be careful about. And I get it, that's his wife, but those
Parading her
people,
around.
they can come at you later on and do the same thing they did to Diddy about Cassie. Like, you might think it's okay.
Yeah.
And then she might come around and be like, nah, you did this to me and I didn't, you made me do this for money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be careful these days about how this stuff is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very dangerous in that particular field. So that's why I'm saying, like, with this Passport Bro stuff, I can't really have a real opinion on it because I don't know what the climate will be in 30 years.
So you think it's gonna blow up on some people?
Hell yeah. Absolutely, bro. Like, for real.
Okay, wait. Let's bring it back so we can make some sense of things, okay? Because we're all over the place, right?
Yeah,
So when it
yeah.
comes to Passport Bros, I think that this is such an interesting topic
Yeah.
because there's so many layers to it,
Yeah.
right? So there's the sexual aspect, but there's also this aspect of men going there to find love. Yes. No, it's okay. So wait, why are you guys seem so confused? So I've been doing my research, okay? So I'm gonna tell y'all what I found out because I was invested in this because I was like, I'm really curious to know what's really happening. Okay, so basically, how you mentioned that they got their passport. Well, most of them did not necessarily specifically get their passport for it, but they may have already had their passport or they obtained their passport to be able to go travel. And then they were looking for sex, but also they're saying that they're tired of Western women and their philosophies when it comes to dating or how they show up in the world because they want someone who's a little bit more submissive.
So they say they went out there for submission, basically.
Right, to find love. So I went on the Passport Bros website, okay, because that was the biggest thing. I was just kind of like, what is happening? They have a whole website. They have merch that you can purchase. And I don't necessarily think that the founder of the idea of Passport Bros created this website. I'm not sure about that. But they were talking about how they're going there for tourism to find love. And they did not mention sex, but I'm sure that there probably is that reasoning because they wouldn't probably put that on the internet. So people will see that that's what they're doing. But I want to be very clear. It's not just Black men. Also, it's like many different types of men who are doing this.
Oh yeah, other races have been doing that shit for years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
I
But
think we late to the game.
no, for
honestly.
real.
Late
Like,
to
we,
the
we
game?
playing catch up.
yeah.
oh Lord.
Hell
Crazy
yeah.
in DR.
Oh my God. But it's been reported that there were like 8 Black men who were murdered or who were set up because they were meeting these women on these dating sites. So I want to really talk about that because there was a lot of people praising this, like saying like, oh, that's what they get. And oh, they shouldn't have been going overseas to go, find love or whatever. And that they're like kind of saying that they got what they deserved, right? But then there are other people who are saying like, this is still a human being, like we shouldn't be celebrating this happening and different things like that. So I'm more just like, how dangerous is it to go find love across like overseas, Would that be something that you'd be willing to do and risk if you, let's say, were dating and you did not meet someone or you're just fed up and sick and tired of it? Like, would you go across overseas in order to find love?
No, I don't know the country. I don't know you. Like, how do we even relate? Like, I would go out there to have fun, and if I meet somebody that might be on my, radar, sure. But otherwise, it's like, how do I find love with somebody who I don't know? I don't know your culture. You probably don't even speak English, like, for real. Like, how do we? I think submission is the only thing, right? Because I mean, a lot of these women overseas are taught to be mothers, caretakers, stuff like that, right? Compared to out here where independence is a very big thing. I mean, it's up to the man. I mean, I guess, me personally, I'm not going overseas to find love.
So I think you posed a couple of interesting points first, right? So I want to go back to the whole website and this being a movement and everything. From my understanding, Passport Bros has never really been a movement per se. It was just a term used to describe men who go across to have sex with women, right? Now, the guy who did create this website, whoever he may be, and creating merch and has a podcast and all that, I think this is more so a result of something recent happening, which is this arisal of the red pill ideology. I think it's somebody capitalizing on that sector of thought and making money off of the concept of Passport Bros. So he's preaching this idea of like, oh yeah, go get a submissive woman who will do whatever you want. And she's more so appreciative of you because you're really rescuing her from probably a bad situation in her country or something like that. Right. And I don't necessarily think it speaks for a large denomination of people. There might be a growing following, right? Because we saw how fast the red pill ideology took off. As soon as somebody got on a mic saying what some of those people were saying, it was like a bunch of guys immediately rallied behind him, like, yeah, he's right. We gotta follow that, and women need to do this, and yada yada. So I think that's more so the same thing going on here with the Passport Bros. As far as finding love in another country, I can't say yes or no. It could happen. You never know. You can meet somebody who you vibe with, but there will be cultural things. And it comes down to like, how willing are you to accept their culture and how willing they are to accept your culture, whichever way it goes. Because for instance, if I went to Japan, I meet a woman, I fall in love, and I decide I want to stay in Japan, then I'm giving up my culture to adapt to her culture. But if she comes back to America with me, she has to give up her culture to adapt to my culture. And it's just like are you okay with that? And some people are. I mean, I have a relative who is actually married to a Japanese man. Like I have a half Japanese cousin, apparently. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. So it's just it's about what you're willing to, what you want in a relationship. If the cultural aspect of it matters, then that's important. I know this is a sidebar, but I think that's interesting that you brought that up, because I think about this when people have conversations about like interracial dating, like even here in the States. I find that a lot of times our race, Black people, believe that we should only be with Black people. And I think that is, me personally, I think it's slightly backwards. I don't think we should limit ourselves to only dating somebody. I understand the concept of dating a Black person, because who's going to understand a Black person like another Black person? But also, we've learned that not all Black people's experiences are the same. There's some Black people who have a street experience, and then there's some Black people who have a suburb experience, and there's some Black people who have a city life experience. So it's like really different, and it's really nuanced. And I think it's a shame that people will downplay somebody because of them going outside of their race, their culture, to be with somebody and experience that side of things, or however it works. It's definitely a topic that I don't get, because it even goes into like celebrities. If you're a Black celebrity and you marry a white woman, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're not pro-Black because XYZ, but all these other people you're praising for being pro-Black, but they're out here shooting people, they're out here killing, they're out here perpetuating a stereotype that further brings us down. What does Juan say? The degradation of the Black community. So it's like, the arguments is weird. But back on the culture thing, yeah, I think I could. It just depends on how I feel about her and the culture that she has.
I mean, interracial relationships cause challenges, right? I mean, you gotta, I mean, it's up to you. Are you willing to take the challenge, right? And it really depends on the person you're dealing with, whether you're a male or a female. Like, are they worth the challenge? Do we resonate that much outside of our races to really come together and make something that we both enjoy? And that's the main thing, right? I would never, like I said, I can never forcefully take myself to go somewhere to just look for it. I think it's very important for you to not really look for anything. Just let it happen organically. That's the best thing you can do.
Agreed.
So if I do happen to go outside of the country and I find somebody that I like, if it organically happens, fine. But I would never buy a passport to specifically find love. No. That is crazy to me.
Yeah. No, so you mentioned this, you started to talk about interracial relationships, and yes, the same thing. So when it comes to interracial relationships, I have a lot of different thoughts that come to my mind when it's interracial relationships. I do feel like, yes, I love when I see Black people together. Like I love that. That's like, I see it. I'm like, beautiful couple. Black love. I'm here for it. But I do also understand why what you're saying is like, don't just limit yourself to saying, oh, I'm only going to date someone Black because, for whatever reason.
Because
like whatever.
I have to.
Because yes,
it's not. You shouldn't feel like you have to date like that. That doesn't make sense, because then that's going to cause people who don't. It's going to cause people who don't really want to date somebody Black to force themselves into that relationship, and that can cause other problems down the road. And we've seen that.
Yes, exactly. So, but what I was going to say is, I think that the main problem is when there is a bashing of the other. Like, so for instance, if a Black man
dates a white woman
and he's bashing his fellow sister,
that's primarily what I don't like.
That's what the problem I think is. It's not that you chose in private to date white women, but now you're publicly going out and you're bashing Black women, or now you're like, this is why I got a white woman. And it's like all of those things. That's the part that I don't like. Yeah. It's like, you didn't have to do all that. You didn't have to go on a tour to be like, oh, I don't like Black women because whatever. XYZ, it's just, and it's like, they got the bullet point, the PowerPoint presentations, and it's like the whole thing. Like, they have it down pat.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, and it's sad. That to me is what I don't like. So
I don't think you're the only person that doesn't like. I
think a
large
lot
majority
of people don't.
Yeah, it's right. Exactly.
But you see, I will say, you see it on both sides. You do. You have some women who are like, oh, I'm not going to date a Black dude because of X.
Oh, no.
You don't see it as much.
Yeah, no.
Obviously.
That's not even what to say.
But there is bashing on both sides, where if a Black woman dates a white man, she's going to get bashed for that. And there's going to be hate. And I
ain't gonna lie, I see this like
women who
I see this comedy. Like, I don't really.
You said it. You see it as comedy.
Like, okay,
it is comedy, right?
What do you
But
mean?
y'all take it. So when y'all see it, y'all see a man talk about they talk about black women while they're dating white women. Y'all take it like y'all are like pissed. You know what I'm
Wait, what do you mean? I'm trying to understand.
saying? Like what I mean is, so we kind of see it different. So if you see a white person, like a white dude date a black girl, and the black girl's talking about how she don't like black men, we look at it as like comedy. Like we don't really.
Yeah, it's like haha, whatever.
Oh.
But if you see a black man dating a white woman and he's talking bad about black women, riots and shit.
DEFCON 6.
Okay, so
Hit the button.
so I have not seen video footage of a black woman specifically
No, there's
dating
not, and it's not a lot. You're right. 100%.
white men
Yeah.
and is going out of
Bashing
her
black men.
way
Yeah.
to
bash
now
black-
bash
No,
black
you're
men.
right.
Facts.
That's the difference. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. It's like usually when that happens, it's okay, I'm over here. I'm good. I'm over here. I'm following my man, and he just so happened to be white, whatever. And then, you move on. But you're not going out of your way. Now, there are women who are bashing black men. There are black women who are bashing black men. But I think it's because they're hurt. Also, they're like angry and upset about something that they may have experienced with black men. So that's why I think that's that issue that they're trying to work out. But I don't think, sometimes I feel like when they're doing that, I don't think that they've chosen to go to the other side and why they're dating white men. I feel like they still want to date black men, but they're like frustrated. And now they're putting it out on camera, talking about why they're frustrated. If that makes sense. Does
No,
that
yeah,
make sense?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But yeah,
so I think that's the difference. Is like when a black woman is in a relationship with a white man or a non-black man, she doesn't go out of her way to like
So
tear
I'm not with a black man
because
of XYZ.
this is,
But you
I
see
haven't
more from men.
exactly.
I think it's more, and yeah,
it's
I
the
think it's
value.
more of a I think it's more of a retaliatory tactic, right? Because a black man is already assuming or expecting that hate, right? The backlash. I'm not excusing the behavior. It's not good in any sense,
No.
right? But it definitely is probably a reaction, more so, because to take your time to make a PowerPoint to say, "Oh, this is why I won't date a black woman,"
Right.
is kind of crazy,
Exhibit A.
right? So it's like
the pointer.
the fact that you're taking the time to do this is letting me know that you're trying to get back at, or you felt hurt by somebody, or
yeah.
there's something that triggered this, right?
And it is usually the hurt.
It's,
It is
it's
that.
definitely hurt. If they're doing
It's-
PowerPoints, it's a hurt, bro.
Well,
It's not
I
that-
mean,
that's a lot of effort.
it's not that
it's-
serious, bro. Like you, I don't.
Right. I mean, I'm joking, but about the PowerPoint presentation, but it is there. It's so you can tell that the
No steps like they,
the work
when they label like
was
yeah,
put
they
in.
do this.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
It's a you know, you hear from homies like, bro, somebody killed you. I don't know who it was, bro. You got to get over that.
You gotta let that hurt
You
go,
gotta let
man.
it go,
Right.
bro. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, it's not every single one, bro. Like, you might have dealt with the wrong one, or you might have handled it the wrong way, but it's not that bad, bro.
Yeah. And I want to say this because I've said this before, like not on this platform, but I've said this before, like in my life. I want you guys to help me kind of understand or try to figure out how to word this. But when I've always thought about like white women dating black men have always been, the idea is that they're sought after, they're swaggy, they're so cool.
Cool.
It's black men.
So
black
when
men.
you look at it as like a white woman trying to get a black man, you
Yes,
see it as
it's
more
because
of
she's like, ooh, it's like an idea of like, ooh, I want this or whatever, right?
kind of like a prize.
Is
or
exactly. So there's this, so there's
They're
this,
more interested in the blackness than the person.
right.
With the fetish, it's a fetish.
Yeah,
Something like that,
that's
sure.
like a fetish.
Sure. And so, or sometimes it's like I've heard friends say like, I want mixed babies. And so that's always rubbed me the wrong way.
No,
but
I've
anyway,
heard I've heard it many times.
yeah, but so that when I think of like when white women date black men, I'm like, okay, if there's this idea or this fetish or this I want my child to look like kind of thing. But I feel like when black women, the idea of black women is it's usually associated that like, they're angry, black women are aggressive, and they kind of take away the allure of black women at times, to where when I do see that a white man has chosen to date a black woman, I feel like he put all of that to the side and was able to genuinely fall in love with her character. And he may have some type of like, ooh, she's Black, I want her because she's Black kind of thing. But I feel like the idea around when it comes to relationships, when we think of like a Black man and a Black woman, I feel like the Black woman usually is getting like a bad rap when it comes to it. So that way I think like when a white man does date a Black woman, she kind of, he was able to like look past all of that. And
You think it's more genuine?
I think it's more genuine. Not to say, no. I think it's more genuine as the white man dating the Black woman compared to the white woman dating the Black man, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Maybe.
I get the point you're trying to make. Yes. Do I agree? Not really.
Okay, that's fine. I want to hear. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's fetishes on both sides. I think it's fetishized on both sides. I think there are, just like there's white women, white men who go out for Black women, Black men because of their Blackness. I think it's just, it depends on the person.
Okay.
I think there are some white women who genuinely like the person past their Blackness.
Yeah.
Like if he wasn't Black, would you still date him? Yeah. The answer would be yes. Right?
Okay.
Most of the time you can kind of tell too, right? Because there's an obsession with our culture, right? So if they're specifically fetishizing the Black person for their Blackness, you can tell because they have an obsessive nature towards our culture, towards our music, towards the way we act, dress, talking. Like you kind of see it. Like you get,
You know what I'm talking about.
get the vibe.
What's that girl name?
Like Bad Baby.
There we go. Yeah.
Like Bad Baby. You know who that is?
Mhm.
Catch Me Outside.
Oh, I thought that that's what you were talking about,
Yeah.
but I didn't know her name.
So like in her instance, you get the vibe that it's like, oh, you like our culture. So you're trying to like continue to perpetuate it and be a part of it in any way, shape, or form you can by acting that way. Right. And it's unfortunate that our culture is being ghetto and being ratchet. Like, I don't think that's like a core part of our culture.
Mm-mm.
However, that is a stereotype that is attached to our culture.
Mm-hmm.
And from the outside looking in, you're going to think, oh yeah, that's like a Black experience. That's like how people were mad at Aquafina, the Asian lady who spoke as if she was like from New York. And
Yeah.
you think she's like got like a hood experience or
Yeah.
something like that, right? But in actuality, she talks regular. So people are like, well, why is she putting on this accent, this, what do they call it, Black scent, in order to, be this type of person? So I think it just comes down to like how that person views us.
Yeah.
Do you view us as something that you think is just really, like you said, it's really cool? Oh, like he walks around with his pants sagging and he keeps a gun on him. He drives a Hellcat. Like, are you dating him because of that? Or are you dating him because you guys talk about kittens at like 3 o'clock in the morning
Right.
and you just enjoy that? Right. So,
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that. That is what I can say the difference is. If someone is genuinely into a person because of like their interests or like, oh, you're fine, you're like cute, yeah, whatever, then that is definitely a different, that's a love language. So yeah. I mean, I feel like the last thing to this point is I remember when I was younger living in LA, I would hear a lot of guys always say like they want good hair, like their children to have good hair. Or guys, yes, they would specifically date.
I've heard that more from women.
I've never heard
any
that.
women that say that?
No.
Those are the women I know. I want my baby to have good hair.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I would hear
Kel can tell
guys.
you straight up.
So
That's what they
wait.
go for him.
That is funny.
You gotta get off the rip. That's
So
it.
wait, so I would hear this a lot, and I would hear guys say this to me. Like, I was specifically told, like, from multiple men, like that they wanted light skin or they were going after someone foreign because they wanted. Yeah, they wanted.
Like, I don't want my baby to be dark. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, like mixed. They wanted mixed babies.
Because they
or
dark
something.
already, and they don't want, you know what I'm saying? They don't
Yeah.
want their kid to come out super dark like they is. That's some, every dude that I talk to that be saying that, something wrong with them, in my opinion. Because it's like, bro, my babies could be like this. I would not care.
I feel like that's something I saw in maybe like school, like high school, middle school, but like that's not indicative of how you're going to be as an adult. In school, you don't know.
Yeah.
Like in school, I expect that kind of conversation because people are stupid in school.
Yeah, but it
But once
went
you
all
become
the,
an adult,
it went all the way up through to college as well for me as well. Like I would hear it all the way through college, and then if I was out in the clubs or whatever.
they didn't say that.
No. Sorry. Let me. If I was out in the clubs,
They just,
you would see.
yeah, I'm looking for a light skin.
No, you would see who's at the table. Like you could see who's at the table at the section. You know the type of girls at the section. So
Oh,
it
the
wasn't.
Chris Brown experience.
Huh? Right, exactly. Just like that. So it's like the idea is like, who's at the table is, yeah. And so I feel like that's where it's like, then it gets perpetuated, right? Then you move to a city like Atlanta, like me, and then you see all types of shades. My shirt says, I think it says love every shade. And so it's like you see all types of shades of women, different, backgrounds, different things. So I feel like maybe because I lived in LA, because most of my experience has been in LA, like going to the club scene and it's LA, seeing who they pick and choose to come to the tables and not to the tables, like all of those different things. I was just always would think that men were notoriously going for lighter skin or, different things like that. I mean, granted, I was always chosen, so I'm not gonna sit up here and
Like,
say
I always
whatever.
whatever.
But yes.
I know you're talking about me. You're talking about me, right?
I think that's funny. Because it's like one of the top debates, right? Light skin, dark skin. And I think the craziest thing about that is that every culture has some form of that.
Yes.
You see that in Indians, you see that in Asians, you see that in Africans, like you see it everywhere.
Mm-hmm. So you see the white people, bro. Like,
Yeah.
So don't like I love it. I see a beautiful pale like girl, and then there'll be one that I have to get a 10. It's like I don't really see.
It works a little differently though. Like depending on where you are. Probably in like European countries, the paler she is, the more sought after, right?
Think so? Well, yeah.
And then over here, tanning culture
Tanning's
is such
like
a
that,
big
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So having bronze
Because tanning means
skin-
you've been on vacation. Tanning means you have the money to go outside.
You just sat in
Just
a
kidding.
bed for like an hour or something.
I'm just playing.
Under microwaves. But yeah, it's interesting like that everybody has these back and forths. Like you see a lot of it from us, right? Oh, light-skinned people always trying to do XYZ, or dark-skinned people always want to do XYZ, but it's everywhere. It's just everybody doesn't approach it the same way we do. We're loud about it. And I think it's always funny when somebody's in the comments like, you guys are doing this. This is what slavery taught us. And y'all are just perpetuating slavery further. And I'm just like, bro, they do this everywhere. Like, this is not a unique
It's
experience.
not a
to
black
us.
exclusive.
No, it's
Right.
everywhere. Like, it's for real deal everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ultimately, I feel like as men and women, we're all looking for love. We want to be in love and have, a partner who we can trust and all those different things. I feel like that's ultimately what it comes down to, which is why I think when it came to when I was in my research for the Passport Bros and different ideologies behind like finding a specific type of woman or whatever, it ultimately to me comes down to the fact that, you want someone who you feel will be a companion for you and for the rest of your life.
Yep.
I just don't want the bashing to happen in the in-between. Like that's the part that I want to be no longer. Like I don't want that.
Yeah.
There were also a lot of women who were kind of bashing the men who were leaving as well. I don't know if you guys have seen this on like TikTok, but there are women who are, they're responding. They're like, okay, well, you want to go. And they're talking about like, oh, well, you're not even going to be able to speak to this person. They might not even speak your language and all these different things like that. So there are women who are up in arms and
definitely.
angry and upset because of, what they think is happening. What do you guys think about that? Like the women who are mad about it.
It's expected. I mean, they're taking our men away. I don't know.
It's already a shortage.
Yeah, it's like,
Now that's
yeah.
it's even more of a shortage. This definitely.
But you wouldn't
funny.
want you wouldn't want those kind of men anyway. You should accept that. Like, hey, yeah, go over there. We don't want your type of, you know what I'm saying? We don't want you anyway. So yeah, that's how I see it though. You feel me? I don't know how, I think you should look at it like, okay, those are just the guys you would never want to deal with anyway. Like, think about it. You want your husband to be a dude who's like, yeah, I want to go to DR and just go fuck on everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's your dream, nigga. Like, come on, bro. No disrespect to y'all. Y'all do y'all thing. Come on.
Yeah.
Bro. That's not building a relationship mind to think about doing that shit on the regular or even publicizing it. You feel me? So yeah. If you're gonna go to DR, keep it on the low. I'm telling y'all, don't tell nobody.
That's what I'm saying. It's really the people who are glorifying
Yeah,
it.
don't glorify
It's
that
really those people. That's the problem. Okay,
Be quiet, please. Shut the fuck up.
Right. I think that's what it
telling.
is. Because when I'm
Yeah.
watching the videos, it's like, this is why I'm in DR, come to DR. And it's showing all the girls in DR, like it's showing them and
Following them. and
Yeah,
just like,
exactly. And it's showing
papi, da, 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 da.
exactly. It's showing
You
all
gotta be
that.
careful too, man. That's how a lot of people end up dead. for
That's
real.
why. Yeah, that's why they get caught. Yeah, they get.
Like,
You know what I'm saying?
these women, they're dangerous in these other countries too. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
You don't know. You can't speak their language. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you're at, and they just telling you to come over here. I remember seeing a crazy story about a dude. I think he was in like Colombia or somewhere, and he took a taxi like 2 hours to go see this girl at her house to get some, and then her brother drove him back home, and I'm like, bro could ended up dead. Like, he had a video and everything. It was crazy. He was like, yeah, and that's her brother's driving me back. Like, he videoed himself in the Uber. And he videoed the girl he was in her house or whatever. And he was like, now her brother's driving me back home. And I was like, bro, this is crazy. Like, y'all got to control it a little more. You know, if you're going to go out there, keep some self-control about you, because you can end up dead. For real, for real.
He's out the country.
Yes. Out the country with it.
2 hours with some cat outside the country is wild, bro. Like, that is
Bunkers.
you are. That's
But,
wild.
What I was gonna say is, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it does suck that a lot of these men are going out of the country, but I don't know, maybe women should do it too. Make the passport gals. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go out there, have a little fun too.
That's funny.
I mean,
Did you do research on that? Is there passport girls out there?
So, okay. So when I actually used to work at Bravo, they had this show called To Rome for Love. And it was about Black women going to Rome to find love.
That's real. How long ago was that?
This was like some years ago.
So look, because I seen
is a
something on
while back.
TikTok TikTok or something was a girl in Italy dating like 30 niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like 30 like Italians. It was Black girl, yeah. And she was talking about her experience with like each one. I'm
I heard
like,
they're very racist over there.
that's what I'm saying. I was confused, but she said they did a show in Rome.
Yeah.
So something going on in Italy,
So
which is crazy. And I never knew about this, bro. This is like 2 weeks ago.
That's
I learned
crazy.
about this.
I think so obviously that's a joke because, right, women don't go looking for sex, they go looking for love, whereas a man will go looking for sex and then find love, right? It just, I don't think it will work right?
that make
Like a
me
woman
laugh so
going to
much?
like, I don't know, what's the country, like women going to Jamaica thinking they're gonna find love. Like,
How do you know what
yeah.
Keisha said it is about?
Huh? Oh,
Uh-oh.
dang.
So look.
See, look.
How you know? Okay, keep going.
But anyway, that's funny. But like, yeah, I just don't think it'll work.
He's
That's
like,
probably
plain and
why.
simple.
That's probably why we won't see like a passport girls. I do believe that sexual tourism goes both ways. There are women who travel to other countries for sex, but one, they're not going to post about it like we do.
Ever.
And two, they're not. Women don't. I don't think you all look for sex the same way we do.
No.
Whereas it's like if you made a sandwich, sex is at the top of our sandwich. For y'all, it's in the middle. Like you gotta put some bread of love, some lettuce of love, some cheese
Gifts.
of love.
No,
You
no,
gotta-
they just hide it better than we do. That's all.
I mean, okay,
I
like
mean, you got to work towards it. Unless a woman not desperately, unless a woman is only sex focused, but you're gonna know that. And those are different types of women. The average woman, I was gonna say standard. The average woman is definitely gonna look for love, right? You're gonna find more women looking for love than women who are just like, yeah, I just want some sex.
we have a wider variety of women that will jump on compared to women. But
That too, yeah.
if they find that sweet spot though, they'll jump for that nigga just
Yeah.
like how we'll jump for
yeah,
women.
we
You know what I'm
grade
saying?
differently.
That's why it's
Yeah.
like we're more so seen jumping for women more so than a woman
because
jump for a
we're
nigga.
not as selective.
Their selection is very
I like
they'll
it,
still jump
yeah.
for that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the nigga. But yeah.
whew.
But
It's
you
crazy.
was talking about, so tell me about the Rome thing, because I want to.
Yeah, so there was there was a show. It was called To Rome for Love.
Yeah.
And then it was just about women who were going overseas to find love. Like I said, this was years ago. They had like a woman who brought them over, and she said, okay, we're going to go find love. I think she set up dates for them.
I was about to say, she just set them in the city, just
I think she
go
set, from
find
what I
love.
remember, she set up dates for them, but also I think that they were also doing things like different like activities that allowed them to meet men too, like something like that. It's kind of fuzzy because this was like years ago, like very long time ago. But I do know that they have that. But when I was doing my research, I did, of course, see the women who were having their take on what's going on and talking about like, why they did not like this or why this was weird for them, or that the fact that they're like, she's not going to be your best friend. You're not going to be able to talk to her, having all of their experiences. And they were talking about that as well. So yes, everyone's invested. I feel like a lot of people are invested, whether they're watching and they're spectating and they're just interested, because there are so many views on these videos. Whether people are just watching, or people are watching and commenting, or people are watching, commenting, and also responding with their own videos. There's a lot of people who are invested in this. It's a heavy emotional topic. I think that it's something that's, a lot of people are trying to really get to the bottom of. And that's why I think for men and women alike, we're all looking for love. We ultimately want someone who we can have as our life partner. And so I think that when it comes down to it, I think women, they're just tired. Like they're tired of having been treated like disrespected, emotionally manipulated, having been abused, whatever it is, cheated on, all those things. And then I feel like we're up in arms in the sense that it's like, and now you did all that to us, and then you turn around, you talk about you just gonna go find a submissive woman after you did all these things to hurt and do these things to women, and now you're going to go say, well, I did all that, and now I'm going to go to a different country. I'm going to go to the Dominican Republic to go find a woman who's going to deal with my emotional abuse, my cheating and all this different stuff like that. That to me is what I'm seeing. I'm like, it's hard. I think it's a lot of miscommunication.
I blame TV, romance novels, you know what I'm saying, for like bringing up this ideology of perfect relationships. Think about it. We've grown up looking at Disney and shit, like, what I'm saying, like Nickelodeon and whatever movie, whatever rom-com you want to look at. And we're thinking as we're kids, teenagers, youngins, like, oh yeah, we'll find the perfect one. Now social media is here. At the same time, especially today, like
I was about to say, I blame social media.
All of that,
like 100%.
Now social media came in, boom, even more like kind of ruined the idea that something that we thought was going to happen when we were young. Like we all thought, oh yeah, we're definitely going to find our one, right?
I think a lot of us thought we would be married before we hit 30.
Yeah, like
I think a large number of us thought we'd be married before 30.
We're going to be good. I'm going to have a family and I'm going to love my, you know what I'm saying? Like now it's
25 was the age.
Yeah.
25.
You hit 25, you have a wife. Kids around 27.
All of
that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really blame rom-coms or any of that. I blame social media 100%. And the reason I blame social media is because of the people on social media who are sharing their experience. Everybody is thinking that their experience should be the same. Everybody's experience is not going to be the same.
No.
It's just not how it works. You had a large number of people slowly coming on saying, yeah, man, I don't have to date these women or do anything. I just get whatever I want and it's all good. And as that slowly grew, the group of people realizing that this was true started growing, and then it just tumbled down from there. Like people just stopped believing in actual relationships because social media makes all of the messy stuff of relationships public.
Yeah.
So stuff that was once
private,
not really
sacred,
talked
taboo.
about, now you think it happens 90% of the time because social media is telling you
it's pushing
I've
it
been
at
cheated
you too.
on like so much. It's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you in terms of like romantic comedies. I love romantic comedies. Okay, I love them. So I am such a hopeless romantic. I literally, like, it's my favorite genre. So when I see these things, I see visions of people finding someone who is their one, right? And then, of course, there's the challenge, the timing. There's the theme of like, oh, like life is happening with me all at this time, and I'm trying to figure out how do I find love at the same time. So I just feel like romantic comedies create the idea that it is possible to find a one. you know. But I do agree with social media. I feel like social media has
Oh, that was the
muddied
final
that.
punch. That was like the final smash in terms of the ideology of how to finding the one. Is what I mean. It's like, we were almost there, and then now, boom. So it's kind of really shook up everything. But yeah, I just feel like we never really got a realistic ideology of what relationships are supposed to be, what we're supposed to do in relationships, and how to make it healthy growing up. We just looked at this, manufactured example on television, through social media, whatever, and expected that would happen to us, when that in reality is just not. You know what I mean? You got to really, it takes time, it takes work, real work, to find your one. So
yeah, no, I agree. So I think that ultimately what the way we can bridge this gap is we just need to have better communication, allow people to be able to be more receptive of the other person's feelings and how what they do may cause, inflict pain, take accountability, make sure you're not over here just like, whatever, I'm the problem. And then you're not going to go find somebody else and still be a problem, or whatever. Like I just say, take accountability and make sure that you are not out here just being reckless, like with people's hearts and people's feelings, because you don't want that to happen to you. So to me, I feel like that's one of the basis of it all. Would y'all live in another country? I just want to know, like, I just want to talk about that real quick before we get into Keisha Done Said It. Would y'all live in another country? And if so, where?
yeah, so it depends on the country, right? Like,
I'd live in another country. I'd live in the UK. I'd live in some Asian countries. Yeah.
And that is a basketball player. It's crazy because I looked at his Instagram today. I don't really follow him, but it was just on my feed. His name was Stephon Marbury. He played for the Knicks, and he played for the Knicks, but then he went to China and played basketball in China. They made a statue of this man. That's how good he was in China. So he's been living in China the whole time, and he's having a blast. Like, you know what I'm saying, all of that. And so it makes me think like, oh, we could flourish in like countries where we would never think we could, right? So yeah, I'd probably go to China just to see it, just seeing how he's living good out there. Yeah, I would do it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like maybe there are different things where you'd be like, one of one, and somehow people are like, oh wow, you're one of one.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
I don't know if I want that attention though.
I was gonna say there are people like there's black people everywhere. There's black people who live in China. There's black people who live in Korea. There's black people who live in, there's black people in the UK. Like, there's black people everywhere. It's just depending on which part of whatever country you live in is where you might end up being one of one. Like if you're black in Germany, you're not one of one, but you're definitely going to be looked at a lot. So
yeah, you could be one of one out here somewhere in certain places.
Facts.
Yeah.
Shit.
No, I would definitely. I would go to Uganda because that's like from where my family is from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my dad is from there, so I would go there. But I would live a lot of different places, to be honest. I really would, because I feel like wherever you can thrive is where you should be. Like, I feel like you always have to go where you feel like, dang, like I feel like I'm at home, I'm home. So yes. Okay, well, we're going to get into Keisha Done Said It real quick because it's actually about, I guess this was like the foreign episode of everything, because this Keisha Done Said It is on track with what we've been talking about today. Okay, so I went to Jamaica in November to celebrate my birthday. I was supposed to go with friends, but the closer the trip came, the more people started to cancel. I ended up going by myself. The deposit was already paid and I couldn't get my money refunded. Plus, it was my first time going out of the country. I knew I wanted to go there, and I've been telling my friends that I wanted to go for some time. I had such a good time and did all of the tourist attractions. And of course, I ended up falling in love with a Jamaican. They really do speak the language of love. This guy showed me so many different parts of Jamaica, and he took me on different excursions. I ended up having a great experience because of him. If I did not meet him, my birthday trip would have been very depressing. When I got back home, we started talking every day, and I started to develop an emotional connection for this man. His family lives in the States, and I was able to meet them because we live in the same state. It wasn't long until I started to want him to be around. He told me that I would need to start the process of getting married in order for him to come to the States because his family could not do it for him, and he was denied because it's difficult for Jamaican visas to come to the state. I started the marriage process because essentially we would get a 90-day trial to be together. It was a low risk situation. He's never asked me for money or maybe feel like he's using me. However, I'm a little concerned because I am not sure if he's here for real or if this is his opportunity to get a green card. I'm falling for this guy, so part of me wants to see what happens. What do you advise I do?
Okay. Let me start off. This isn't you, right?
No.
Okay, good.
What? Wait.
You know I'm asking this, right?
No, because 2 weeks ago, the Keisha just said it was about me.
Okay,
but no.
All right,
No.
so-
What? See, that's so funny. Because you know what's... Okay, wait. I'm sorry. I'm gonna jump in. Because I talk to a lot of different friends, and I have a collection of stories over the years that I've talked to friends, and they've confided in me and different things like that. What's funny is when I revealed the last week that one of the Keishans said it was about me, I was like, they probably gonna start thinking that these are about me, but no, like
No, I'm just asking.
Oh, okay, I was like, but
this
wait.
is a serious one. This is like really like,
Yeah.
because if it's you, I need to like.
No, for sure. But
Okay,
no,
so-
I would tell you though.
All right.
No.
So one of my favorite Netflix documentaries or whatever it is The Tinder Swindler. It's so good. It is so good. It's bad, but Buddy was so good at what he did. It's not even like, you know what I mean? I just couldn't believe it. Like, yo, he had it on point, like everything, like the trips, the how he was messaging, everything, right? This is one of them scenarios. This is what it looks like to me. Like a dude could feed you. We talked about this before. Like, it's really easy to manipulate a female if she's really receptive to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to make to tell y'all what y'all want to hear. That's just the reality of everything. So, come on now. Like, the situation just doesn't make sense. My family's in the States. You're in the same state. I need a visa. Hook a brother up. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear. I need to get to the States though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be in Jamaica forever. You feel me? So it just seems to be in line with that ideology. Off of that story.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you don't think she should?
Hell no.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
No, I definitely agree with Kel. It's easy to feed somebody who is looking for something whatever you want, right? So it's easy for him in his situation to definitely be the ideal man, be loving, caring, all that. My question is, have you experienced any negative from him? What are the negatives? Has it always been all good? Because if it's all good, then you're experiencing manufactured experience. There's no experience, no real experience where everything is going to be 100% great, wonderful, at all. Like and especially in situations like that where people are trying to get green cards, like there's a high chance that he's just trying to get a green card. He's going to get over there and he's just act the fool, right? I think I was telling y'all about it before that this has happened. And I saw a girl who did something similar. I think she went to like Hawaii. No, not Hawaii. It was some island that's not part of the States. And she fell in love with a guy and got married and everything. And she's been living over there with him. But they were talking about potentially coming back to the States and she getting him a green card. And a lot of people in the comments were like, tell him you don't want to do it and see how he reacts. Like back out of the deal. So like, I feel like in her situation, I'm curious what would happen if she were to say, oh, well, I'm not really comfortable doing that right now. And is she still in Jamaica or has she come back? And
No, she's back.
Over the phone?
No, she's back, but let me see.
He's wanting to come see her.
Yes, because she met the family in the States. Yes. So no, she's back. She's back.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, in her situation, she should make it sound like she'd rather come down there and just be there, right? And see how things work for that. Because how long? And she hasn't even known him that long?
No.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. Unless you're just trying to help him out. But then you should take all of the feelings out of it because you're going to get heartbroken, more than likely.
No, that's a good point.
Unfortunately, we don't believe in true love and all that over here.
No, for real.
It ain't no
Hey,
fairy tale.
Don't bring that shit to
It
me.
ain't no fairy tale, especially in a
I'm not
situation
hearing
like
it.
that. It is. It's very nuanced, but you better be careful.
Like I've seen it. I've seen it for sure. Like it's not like it's not out there, but the people I've seen it with, the shit that they went through or the shit that they do like together, is so uncommon anyway that like I don't. It's not gonna be realistic to me. Like just going out and finding it like, you know. But yeah, Tinder swindler for sure.
Yeah.
That's so
It looked just like the sequel.
this sounds like the sequel. Yeah, I definitely loved that documentary though.
Yeah, you seen it?
No.
Bro, you gotta watch that. I ain't gonna lie. I was impressed. Highly impressed.
Yeah, no, that was a good show. I definitely was a good show. For me, I agree with you, and that's what I said. I was like, it's not a problem that you like this person or that you developed feelings for this person, but see how this person would feel if you chose not to do it. Like if they just keeping you around because you could potentially do this, or are they keeping you around because they actually are genuinely?
You gotta like actually do it. Like don't just say, "Oh no," because then he's gonna double down and try and make you feel like you should. No, you have to be like,
Yeah.
I'm not really trying to do that. I think we should just, talk some more. I'll come down there a few more times. We can hang out. We'll see how this goes. Like,
Yeah,
I really don't feel like I have a good grasp on you. So I
You
want
said November, right?
yeah.
I won't even talk about no green card with nobody after a year and some change. Like, nigga, I just knew you. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
it's only been
November.
like what, 4 months?
Yeah.
I don't even think it's been that long.
November, December, January, February.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 months.
3
Yeah.
months, yeah.
Yeah. No.
So it's a developing story, y'all. I'm gonna keep y'all updated.
Yeah, she's got to know him for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Like you got to.
Yeah.
It's like if I went to like DR and I found somebody and I found somebody that was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We really clicked. And so I'm back in the States. It's like, yeah, I wish I could be out there with you, but I don't have a green card. Guess what I'm gonna do? Click. And I'm like, I'm just not even gonna talk to you no more. Like, yeah, you trying to, okay.
Yeah, you trying to do a little swindle.
Yeah, I'm not.
But yeah, the Tinder swindler was good. You got to see that because it is definitely, it shows you how the scamming actually took place and how women were.
Thing is, they were
I mean,
ugly.
in
It's
it.
crazy.
No,
That's why I was
believe
like, yo, they was like, what, you know what I mean? But no, they were like beautiful. Like,
Yeah, you got to see it.
couldn't
You'll
believe
see
it, dog.
It's a good show.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. You are so funny. But yes. Okay. Well, that's my advice. I would definitely say chill, just maybe back out and see what happens. If he gets angry or upset, ask him ask yourself, is that who you really want to be with? And let us know what you guys think below because we are really curious. Would you fall in love with somebody who you met on a trip? That's the only other thing I would say. She didn't go there for love specifically. That's another thing. So would you fall in love with somebody on a trip? But also, would you go and look for your partner or someone who you want to be with in another country? I'm curious. Let us know below. Okay, let us know. It's your girl Keisha. My Instagram is Keish Done Did It. That's KeishdonedDit. And go ahead and let them know where they can find you guys.
Well, like she said earlier, I'm Tyler. You guys can follow me at new_Ty. And you can check out the production team, Nostalgia Uni ENT.
Y'all know what it is, your boy, NUE.KELLY. You can also follow this entire podcast, the whole process, the whole gang at the bridge ATL _. You know what I'm saying? Check out our TikTok, YouTube. Just vibe with us. You know what I'm saying? Let us know what y'all want to hear. Definitely chime in the comments and everything and all that good stuff. For sure.
All right. Until next time. Peace.